I was watching TV recently and this commercial came on. A parent walks into her son's room and says, "Hey, aren't you having guests over today?" He replies, "Yeah, so?" She retorts, "It stinks in here. You need to clean your room." He says, "Clean my room. I don't have time." She goes and grabs a Febreze container and starts spraying the room. His two girl guests come over and they're like, "Wow, it smells so good in here." They were so impressed with his cleanliness that they begin to take off their clothes and begin a threesome with him. Wait, that didn't happen at all. Okay, I have to stop watching so much porn.
Yeah, outline. With Kevin Dwayne. The outline. With Kevin Dwayne. This is the outline. With Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. Kevin Dwayne. With Kevin Dwayne.
Happy holidays! It's the podcast before Christmas. As always, thank you for joining me on The Outline, the weekly show that highlights pop culture, self-awareness, and other fuckboy activities. Please subscribe on KevinDwayne.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and Google Play Music. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram using the handle The World of Kevin, no spaces, and it's spelled correctly. Last week, Lee Daniels premiered his new show, Star. I was reluctant to watch the show because the trailer didn't look interesting to me. Lee's politics turned me off, and so does his writing at times. So I didn't think I'd watch the show at all, even though I love Queen Latifah, who I believe is executive producer. Well, the show premiered, and the internet exploded with favorable criticism, at least from what I saw. I even had a friend of mine text me to ask if I was watching it. I initially thought to myself, no, and I probably won't. But I sat with that thought for a couple days. I finally watched the show, and I guess these are my thoughts about it. I love that it's shot in Atlanta, like everything else, but they actually state it is in Atlanta, because other shows, they'll say, we're in Los Angeles or Hawaii, and it'll be downtown Atlanta. You're like, nigga, I know those buildings, but who are you trying to fool? But it's cheaper to film here, so I get it. But whatever. The content seems really heavy for a weekly series. It feels like Law and Order meets Glee, to say lack of a better, I don't know. So you have a girl who has been tossed through foster homes or the foster care system. She's been from home to home, and it's a terrible life. And I know many people who went through the foster system. I also know people who used to have foster homes, good and bad, okay? My God, it gets really ugly. So the concept isn't, lost upon me. Once she is free from the system, she's about to turn 18. I think she was able to talk her way out of the system. She goes to rescue her younger sister, who was being sexually abused by her foster family's patriarch. They connect with her bougie black friend from Instagram, and they create a girl group. Oh, did I mention the journey includes a bloody attempted murder? It's just a lot. And then you have people singing and dancing too. It's literally Empire Part 2, but it just deals with a different storyline. So, you still have the musical aspect, but it's really, really dark for a weekly show. It almost feels like it will be a movie, but I get it. You're telling someone's story, so it's cool. I don't have a problem with the storyline per se. It's just that Daniels and co, because they don't write this shit by themselves. They always have a team of writers. You have one person who leads it, but there's other writers, and I think people get lost in that. I feel like their lines are very one-dimensional. For example, in the opening scene, Star is being antagonized by her foster mother, and she's on the phone with her rich Instagram friend who she ends up starting the group with. Okay? So the foster mother's like, come in this house and wash these dishes. And then she goes to, I assume, the foster dad and says, she isn't worth the money we are getting from her. Okay. While this definitely happens in the foster care system, like for real. I've seen it with my own eyes. These lines have a very Tyler Perry stage play delivery, in my opinion. Like I was literally expecting an audience to say, that's a shame. God gonna get her. But it's a show. It wasn't gonna happen. But it's like lines like that where it's like you're trying to convey that the foster parents ain't shit. I get that. You're trying to convey that it's a hard life. But you could add more depth to these lines and not make them so flat. like you can deliver this concept in different ways or maybe develop the characters more so you really know what's happening. And I see that a lot in these Lee Daniel things. I mean, he did it with Precious. Like Precious, the book was like 200 pages. It was a short ass read. You can read it in like 3 hours, no lie. But it had a lot of depth. When he did the movie, he left a lot of stuff out. And it was very one dimensional. And it's like, why can't you add a little more weight? I mean, i.e. Ava DuVernay or Shonda Rhimes, like hell, Donald Glover. Add some length to these characters. Make it more full. Don't be so basic. She isn't worth the money we're getting for her. Whatever. I do love that Amaya Scott is on the show as Queen Latifah's trans daughter. It's nice to see more representations of trans lives on television because I'm sure Laverne Cox can't be in every goddamn thing. I think even she's tired. She's like, listen, I love all these checks y'all sending me, but I can't be in all these shows at once. So I'm gonna need y'all to find somebody else. So I love that they have that representation because that representation matters. And it's nice to just see someone else on the screen. And Amaya is beautiful as a boy and a girl, by the way. I mean, we've all seen those comparison shots, but she's beautiful. And I do enjoy what she's going to bring to the show. It's great that she actually has a real role because I thought it was just going to be like, a quick little throw in, oh yeah, hey, I'm here, girl. Let me throw you some attitude. But no, she's an actual character, and I think that's super, super, super dope. The music and choreography of the show are really cute. I am kind of over the musical series concept. I mean, we've been doing this shit for a long time now. So going from, heartfelt drama to, actual singing, it's not always the easiest transition to go through, but it works. I get it. My favorite scene in the first episode was when they were in Magic City. Outside of Jocelyn Hernandez being in the show, girl, you better not be lying. I'm sorry. That was funny to me. But I did enjoy that song and choreography. It was dope. Star gives me a Jhené Aiko kind of feel. And her sister, the girl who plays her sister, reminds me of Kalani, like all day long. But yeah, it was cute. Queen Latifah is always comforting on the screen, but her wigs are not. I'm convinced she has like a deal with the Illuminati that says she can't look pleasant on television because in real life and like on her press and stuff like that, her hair is always laid. But every time she's in a movie or something, I don't know. I don't get it. The color, the shape, it never fits her head. Like she always looks like, she's just on her way to Walmart to get those 4 Cloroxes for $10. And I don't get it, but hey, I still love her. All in all, the show is okay. I will likely watch the next episode, but I'm certainly not waiting with bated breath to watch it like I was with shows of last season. I mean, Insecure, Atlanta, Queen Sugar. Those are all examples of shows that I literally every week, oh my God, is it time to watch them? Like you're excited to see them. This show, it's cool, but Lee Daniels is Tyler Perry Part 2 for me. Like they get on and they just lose it. I feel like they just start doing stupid shit. I don't know. But if you haven't watched it, watch Star. It comes on Wednesdays, I believe, after Empire, or I don't know. I watched it on the Fire Stick, so I don't know when it actually comes on, but I know Wednesday is the day because it was like a handoff last week. So check out Star on Fox and, let me know what you think. So lately, I've been paying attention to all the virtual reality headsets. I think I was oblivious to how inexpensive it would be to obtain one. So I never entertained the idea of actually getting one. So as a Christmas gift to myself, I looked into it. I was in Fry's Electronics and found one for $60. They actually go as low as $15. But after some quick in-store research on my device, I found the best one for my iPhone that had the right comfort and features that I felt I needed. So the way the headsets work is you use your cell phone. You can use your iPhone or your Android, and it's a viewer. So you put the phone in, and then you get the VR, virtual reality, that means VR. You get the apps, and then it's able to project them in like a 360 motion, so you're immersed into the world. And so I got one for my iPhone. It's called the Merge 360. Now, at first glance, it's a little bulky, like look wise. It looks kind of big. And the one I got, they had purple and black. And I'm not a big, like, I was like, whatever, I don't care. And so I ended up getting the purple one. I'm like, yeah, let's add a little color to it. So it's cute, but it is very much like, it looks like some intergalactical type shit. But they're bulky, but it's actually very comfortable and light on the face. And there's a strap so it stays on your head without you having to hold it up there. Because the cheaper virtual reality headsets you have to hold to your face. And I'm like, who the fuck wants to do that? Like, I just want to go into the world and be there and chill, whatever. So I brought my new toy home and I began to kind of download different apps in the App Store that support virtual reality. And let me tell you something. It is fucking amazing. I can't even describe it the way I want to describe it to you. I would say if you have not tried it, try it. It's very inexpensive. If you already have a mobile device, you've already bought what you need to really, make it work. You just need the viewer. And like I said, they're not that expensive. So try it. It's so much fun. Let's see. I've been to Paris. I stood in the center of Paris and I turned around 360 in my living room. And I got to see all these different sights. I got to see people walking. You look up, there's the sky. You look down, there's the ground. It's an amazing. It's mind blowing. I went to Nairobi, met some people there. They were telling about their struggles and how they were poor, and then because of like finding work, they were able to move closer to work and have better lives for their families. I'm just like, okay, hey. I saw The Lion King, just the opening act. There's this app where it puts you. First of all, let me slow down. There are several different virtual reality apps, and each app gives you different things. Some of them work as like kind of like think like Mashable, and so it has all this different content from different genres, and you just click the content you want to check out. So it's like you can have nature, you can have travel, you can have music, and they're each different virtual reality world. So this one, it puts you in The Lion King, the opening act, but it puts you on the stage while they're performing it. I almost cried. It was so beautiful. So it starts with you on the stage. So if you turn around, literally turn around, because it's 360, you can see the audience watching. And then if you turn the other way, you can see behind the stage. You can see the people as they perform on the stage. And it moves you to different parts so you get a different perspective. It was so damn beautiful. Like, I was sitting here like, wow, this escapism is real. And I was like, this actually feels somewhat like a vacation. I'm in my goddamn small ass apartment, but I feel like I am on Broadway watching The Lion King. And it's super dope. I got to visit the national parks with Michelle Obama. She was there narrating. We was, snorkeling and shit and going to all these mountains. And it was super, 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 super cool. There's this web series, or I should say virtual reality series, and it's called Invisible. And that shit is scary as fuck. And, well, not scary, but the thing about having a headset on, you're literally in the middle of a world. And once again, that's the best way I can describe it. So if you look up or down around, you're in this world. So with Invisible, the whole concept is there's like this baby that's being born that I guess it has some powers. And this invisible person is attacking the mom who's pregnant with this baby, if that makes sense. Or it's trying not attacking, but it's trying to like kidnap her because this baby has his powers and it's trying to claim what's his, blah, 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 blah. So it starts like in this hospital, and she's like really scared, and all of a sudden this invisible being comes and starts like fucking everybody up, and it like kills her father actually. So it kills the father, and you're in the middle of it. You're in the hospital and you're turning around and you're seeing this shit happen. You're like, oh my God, what the fuck? So, but I'm already here. Let's see what happens. So it's a part where this invisible being grabs her by her leg and is dragging her out the hospital, pregnant. And you see her being pulled out the hospital. So I look down and I see all this goddamn blood, and I'm like, okay, am I a part of this and I'm bleeding? What is this? So I turn around. It's her damn dead daddy laying there, just dead, blood coming out everywhere. That shit scared the fuck out of me. And then it rolls into the credits. And even the credits were kind of like freaky because the credits are pretty much inside of the womb. So you see like the baby's limbs and shit. But it's like, once again, it's not 2-dimensional, it's 3D. So you're inside of the womb 360 while they roll the credits. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna watch episode 2 because that was enough thrill for me, but the experience is so cool. And of course, they have like the basic ass roller coasters and shit. So you can get on the roller coaster, but that's whatever compared to the other stuff you can find. I also like theater mode. So basically with anything that you watch on your phone, with certain apps, you can make it project. So if you go to Safari or YouTube, you can watch a video or something. You say, okay, send this to this app. And then it projects it so you can watch it in virtual reality. What it does is it projects it in a way that looks like you're sitting in a theater. It is the coolest thing ever because it literally looks like you are at a movie theater watching a big ass movie. And it blows my mind. Like, technology is just, oh my God, technology is amazing. But let's get to the part that we actually want to talk about, though, the porn, because I don't want to sit here and pretend like I was not thinking about that shit at the store when I bought the motherfucker. So, of course, number one, fucking wow, okay? Wow. Like, who needs humans? Who the hell needs humans? I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like physical touch. I do like, things to move on their own. I do like, actual action. But virtual reality porn, though? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. First things first, I never understood POV, which means point of view, until now. I used to get annoyed by watching POV porn. I'd be like, this is dumb. I want to see both people. I don't want to just see, this person doing these things. But it makes complete sense when you're in a virtual reality world because it's like they're having sex with you. So that's kind of interesting. So, yeah. Currently, and this is my gripe, most of the content is geared toward white, straight, or white gay men. So it kind of made things a little bit awkward. For example, there was this one scene where this couple is hooking up in front of me, or the viewer, which is me. They're hooking up in front of me. They're like on their bed or whatever. And they're like, I think somebody's in the room. And so, they're going at it, giving their best throat, getting it, all type of oral and things. And then it gets to a point where they look at me, the viewer, and like, oh my God, like, there is someone in here. Let's include him in the action. I'm like, okay, come on, include me in the action. So they come over, and, they start like unbuckling and shit. I'm like, oh, okay, go in. And so this was all good until I see my virtual penis, which happens to be white and smaller than my actual penis. So reality kind of sets in when you're melanated like me. But nonetheless, it was still cool. It was a great experience. And just the way you're literally in this room. So I can look down and there's somebody giving me head. And then there's somebody else whispering in my ear. And you're supposed to wear earphones too, because I have Bluetooth earphones. So you're literally in this world. And so someone's whispering in your ear, and then someone's down there giving you dome. And it looks like they're right fucking there. And then if you look around, you can see the furniture. You can see their clothes on the floor. You can look up at the ceiling. The shit is dope as fuck. I just need some more black people That's all I need. Can I get some more black people? I need some more niggas in the point of view because, it's typically geared towards, men. So it's typically titties in your face and shit. I mean, I get that. It's cool. But listen, we need to move forward. I need some more, either female point of view videos, even though I don't know how I feel about having a vagina in virtual reality. But listen, for us gay men, I just need some more black people, please. Or, people of color in general. People come to, I mean, whatever, Asian, Mexican, black, everyone. I mean, it's not a white world solely, I just want my dick to match, I just want my dick to match, maybe I can get a customizable dick. I don't know, but the concept is fucking amazing. Oh my God. Like I had to take a break. I think I called somebody. I said, listen, I just got fucked by a virtual nigga and I don't know what to do with myself. I just don't. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And I would say definitely try it out. So I'm really happy with my purchase. I think it's great. I love the escapism of it all. I really love the fact that you're in a different world for a moment. It's hilarious because you feel like you're in a different place and you have to remember that you're actually in your living room on the brink of hitting your shins on the coffee table. Every time I remove the headset, I'm amazed at how I am positioned in comparison to how I started. It's so cool. Like I moved my coffee table because I'm like, okay, I don't want to hit anything. And I'll start off facing like my TV. And when I'm done, I'm like damn near in my kitchen, turn the opposite way. And I'm like, wow, because everything's 360. So you're constantly turning and looking and it's super damn cool. And if you already have a phone, getting the little viewer is not going to cost you much. Like you can get the Google Cardboard for $15. But like I said, there's no strap to hold it on your face and you want that so you can just put it on and just chill. Some of them come with like remotes. Mine has buttons on the top that you can actually press to kind of access stuff, and a lot of stuff is controlled by vision. So when you access the app, you have to look at something and hold your sight there. It's like a little target and you hold your sight there for like 10 seconds and it accesses what you want to access. It's so cool. Like I'm mad that it took me this long to even try it, but I truly recommend getting a VR headset for your phone. It's so cool. And I'm on vacation. I'm probably gonna end up doing that shit all day today. I just gotta keep my battery charged on my phone because that thing will burn it all the way down. But that's a whole nother thing. But try it out. It's so much fun. So much fun. But whatever. So Christmas is on Sunday. I have done a good job this year at really getting the feeling of the season. I've watched damn near every Christmas movie I can find on the Fire Stick. I played all of my favorite Christmas songs, like all day, all night. The XM radio station. By the way, Holiday Soul on XM, it's XM 49, is everything. It has the best mix of Christmas music. Well, Black Christmas music, R&B and shit. Like, it's so good. And yeah, it's awesome. So I played, my favorite Christmas songs. I've had my Southern eggnog with bourbon. Shout out to Evan Williams, because Evan Williams makes bourbon, but they actually make the eggnog with the bourbon in it. So all you do is just buy it, pop that motherfucker in the refrigerator, and it's on and popping. I know some people don't like eggnog. I get it, whatever. I enjoy it a little bit, especially with alcohol in it. I'm not just out here drinking it by itself. No, fuck no. It has to have alcohol in it. So it's really cute. Got my eggnog. I've been to an ugly sweater party. I've been to a regular Christmas party. I've worn my flannel pajamas. And most importantly, I've seen people that I adore. And I'm continuing to see people that I adore. So I'm really feeling the Christmas spirit, outside of shopping for a few gifts, I think I'm good. Like, I won't feel like I got robbed, because there's some years like, you have Christmas and either you're working too much or you just don't do enough. And so when Christmas gets there, you're like, I just don't feel Christmassy. I don't feel it. I don't get it. But you have to work towards it. And this month I worked towards it. Like, I started after Thanksgiving and I've literally just been playing music and just watching all my movies, and I'm good. Like, Christmas can actually come and go and I'll be fine. But yeah, it's good. But the best part of Christmas for me are the memories. I do all of the stuff that I previously mentioned just so I can connect with my childhood and have thoughts of my family back home and my parents when they were still alive. And that's really why I do all these things, because it's like a ritual, and you just remember all those fun times during Christmas with the family and stuff like that. And there's some memories that really stick out to me. Like, I remember being 5 years old and waking up to like this beautiful ash tree in my living room. And it was rare that the tree would be in the living room, because we would normally put the tree in the den. They would always be in the den, because that was the family room. And, the living room in a lot of Black homes is, that's that white room, or the room with the plastic in it. You can't be in there. So the fact that the Christmas tree's in there means like, okay, it's here for the look, but you can't actually go in there and, touch nothing. But I remember that year, and I was like 5. And I remember getting toy trucks and cars and trains and stuffed animals and clothes. And, I'm 5, I'm a boy. I'm getting all the typical boy stuff. And this is before, I really started developing my interests and stuff like that. I remember getting, probably a year or so later, I remember my biological father, who wasn't quite in my life in a heavy capacity. Remember, I was raised by my aunt and uncle, but, I had a father figure in my home. But my biological father, every year, I don't know if it was out of guilt or whatever, but he would buy me and my other siblings a big gift every year. Well, that lasted for like maybe 3 years before, he disappeared altogether. But anyway, he would buy us a big gift. So that year I asked for a Sega Genesis 2, the Model 2, and he bought it. So I remember him bringing it to my house like maybe a week, if that. Because, as a child, before Christmas, it seems like forever for Christmas to get there. Oh my God. But when you start paying bills, nigga, it seemed like it come by too quick. Or you got to buy gifts for people. Shit. But anyway, I digress. So I remember him bringing it to my house wrapped. So I knew what it was. And I put it under the tree. My mom's like, all right, don't touch it, until Christmas. I'm like, okay. And I think she ended up buying me all the games for it or whatever. That was the deal or whatever. Okay, cool. So I remember every day I would go in there and just kind of stare at the box and I would like imagine playing it. And my anxiety, like I was so impatient. I mean, what was I, 6? Like, I just remember just like, oh my God, there's a Sega in there and it's mine. I already had a Nintendo and a Nintendo too. Or was it NES? And I was just like, Super NES, that was the Nintendo 2. But anyway, I'm sorry. So I was just like staring at the box, like, oh my God, I'm gonna play Sonic. Oh my God, I'm gonna play Streets of Rage. I'm just excited. And so I would go and I would like tear little pieces into the wrapper. It's just so I can look at the box. And all of a sudden, on the back of the Sega boxes, they would show you like all the games and examples. I miss these days, you guys. Oh, I miss these days. They would show you like all the different games you could play on it. So I remember I scratched one out. And it was probably Streets of Rage. I was like, oh, Streets of Rage. And so every day I would scratch a little bit more and more and more and more. And of course, my mom caught on. And then she's like, if you come here one more time, I'm going to whoop you. Now, my mom, in my heart, I think she was bluffing, but I didn't want to test that theory, so I left it alone because I got caught. But oh my God, I remember just being so excited to get that damn Sega. And Christmas morning started at like 4 a.m. for us, so we couldn't sleep any damn way, so we would try so hard, and then like wake up at like 4 in the morning, and then my sister would come over with like my nephew. And a couple other people probably be there. Like my brother would have his kids there, because that it was grandma's house essentially. And so we would all open up the gifts, and it was such a good ass time. And a memory that sticks out, that really really sticks out for me, was when I was 7. Is when my mom bought me my first CD player. And I remember it being such drama in the family. I don't remember who it was. People are like, he's too young to have that. Why would you buy him some expensive equipment like that? And this is back when, CDs weren't cheap and neither was equipment. And my mom was just like, listen, mind your fucking business. Like, I could buy my son when I want to buy him. And I'm glad she did. And I remember she got me, it was an RCA CD player, and you load it at the top, and it had like a tape player at the bottom so you could like record whatever's playing there, and it had like the radio. And I just remember being so excited about that thing, because before then I was already in love with like cassettes, and my mom would buy me like these VHS compilation tapes, like with like BBD and Michelet and Janet Jackson, Michael Jackson. So I would watch those all day. So she knew I was in love with music. And then on cassette, I remember having like TLC, In Vogue, and Bobby Brown. Mary J. Blige was a 411. I love cassettes. So she decided to upgrade me at 7 to a CD player. And I was so happy. Like, I was so happy because I felt like I was getting something for it. I did feel like I was getting something for grown people. I was like, oh my God, grown-ups have this. So literally, you had a bunch of adults who were jealous of me for having the CD player, which I feel like is the equivalent, even though that is way more expensive now, but it's the equivalent to how we feel when we see kids with like tablets and iPhones. Like, why do you have that? But I mean, that's what their parents want them to have, so whatever. So I had the CD player, and I remember the very first three CDs that I was given. It was Janet Jackson's Janet, it was Salt and Pepper, Very Necessary, and it was Escape, Humming Coming at You. And that same week, I don't know if it was the next day or a couple days after, I remember us going to Kmart, and I then got SWV, It's About Time. Those are my very first 4 CDs, and I'll never forget that time. I wore every one of them out, played them from beginning to end, over and over and over and over and over. Like, I wore it out. And luckily, I had very patient parents. Looking back on my life, they were very patient with me. Because I think about how loud for over 20 years I played music. I used to play music so loud, and they didn't even flinch. They would just close my door and go to their side of the house. And I'm like, every now and then if it got late, they'd be like, okay, you need to turn that down, it's too loud. But for the most part, they let me play my shit loud as hell. And so I would just play those CDs all day long, and it really solidified my love for music. Because at this point, it was no longer my mother's music. It wasn't the stuff that she was buying that she liked for me. It became the stuff that I was watching on television and things that I heard on the radio and I asked for. So it started my interest. And as a huge music fan now, that day will never escape me. And many Christmases after that were like that, because, then it became about, okay, Kevin, what CDs do you want this year? What portable player do you want? I had so many damn portable players, like Sony Walkmans. Then I got the one with the bass boost, and I got the one with the anti-skip, even though it still skipped. You get all of those Discman, and it just would evolve. And what CDs do you want this year? And that's the time I would get the most CDs. I would get 4 or 5 CDs rather than my 1 or 2 that I would get. Because my mom would buy me CDs probably once a month. I would get like 1 or 2 a month. And that adds up really quickly. And like Christmas is when you get like the explosion. Like, oh, you can get like 4 or 5 CDs this time and a couple of DVDs. So I would always just love putting together that list. And it was a good time, and that was one of my favorite years, because I remember being so happy. And there was actually a picture of me holding the 3 CDs that I don't know where it is. I think it's back in LA, and it's probably in storage somewhere. I don't know, but I would love to see that picture again, because I just remember how happy I was. I was just like, wow, like I just could not believe that I got a CD player and CDs, and it was the coolest thing ever. And, there were other fun Christmases, like having like the great food and having family over, and then all the kids outside playing with their toys and inside. And it was just great, and not having a care in the world, and being on the other side of the US and living by myself and having little family here. You reflect on things like that, like, wow, those were really fun times. It was really great. I remember when I started getting like older, people start getting lazy and say, listen, I'm not wrapping no gifts anymore. I remember my sister tricked me one year. She was like, can you help me wrap some stuff up? So I was wrapping some stuff up for her, why not? And then she brings in this big ass box and she turns it over. She's like, wrap this one. This is for, she said, I think my cousin Brianna or something. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I wrap it, I wrapped this big ass box. And on Christmas Day, I'm sitting there looking like, okay, did they get me anything this year? She's like, we didn't, we got you some gifts, whatever. And so she was like, that big ass box you wrapped, that's yours. I was like, oh hell no, you had me wrap my own gift. But that was the year I asked for an Xbox. And what's so funny is the only reason I asked for an Xbox is because I had a crush on this guy in high school. And he got an Xbox. And I wanted to connect with him. So I literally begged and pleaded for a goddamn Xbox. So that year, I remember it was a big ass box. It had an Xbox in it. It had the games in it. It had a bunch of clothes in it. Everything was in one box. So all your excitement happens in that one moment and then it's over. It's kind of like an orgasm. You're just like, oh, then it's over. It's not like little gifts here and there. So I remember getting the Xbox and being really, really happy with that. It was cool. I also, remember spending Christmas with one of my friends, which was really cool. I stayed the night at their house, and I got to see that some people do Christmas completely different, and some people do the absolute most. Now, my family, as a collective, like when you had like the aunts and uncles and everyone, yeah, we definitely did it up as a total. But when you're talking about a singular family, it was my friend. She had two siblings, so it was her mother, her father, her grandmother and grandfather. Anyway, so they do Christmas up. Like their house is decorated from top to bottom. Like every nook and cranny of the house has something Christmassy in it. It's like a whole winter wonderland. Mind you, we were teenagers. We were like 16, 17. And so I don't know why. I think during my high school years, I spent a lot of time with this family. And I'm trying to think, like, why wasn't I at home for Christmas? I think it was probably one of the lighter years. My parents were older, so they weren't really doing, the traditional Christmas thing anymore. They were kind of like, listen, we're over it. Like, you got a job, you're good. I don't think you don't want for anything. My mom would still get me something, but it wasn't a big deal. I would get her something, no biggie. So this year I decided to stay with my friends and, it was all good. So at like 10 o'clock, we had to like go to bed like we were kids. And they were like, oh no. And then they like that night they bought us all pajamas. So we all got pajamas and they were cute. I was like, okay, come on, pajamas. We had hot chocolate or coffee. We had Christmas snacks and cookies and shit. And I'm like, okay, I'm not used to all this Christmas Eve activity, but this is kind of dope. Cool. But then at 10 o'clock, they're like, okay, go to bed. I'm like, really? And so we go to bed, and then when I come out to go to the restroom, and I notice that everything is roped off where I can't walk into the living room. I'm like, they really act like we some goddamn toddlers in this motherfucker. But okay, I'm going to play along. So I go pee, and I take my ass back to bed. So the next morning, we wake up. There's Christmas breakfast. You wake up to Christmas breakfast. I was like, okay, this is a really cool concept. We eat breakfast, and there's certain things they have, certain rituals they do, and it was cool. Then they open up all these goddamn gifts, and I don't think I've ever seen that many expensive gifts in one sitting. This was a white family, just to give you a little cue point. But listen, there were so many Apple products, and this was high school, so this is before, This is before, iPhones and shit, but like big ass Mac computers and high-end cameras. And it was just like the gifts they would get, stocks and bonds. And I was like, listen, what is happening here? So, but it was so fun to just kind of see that. And I'll never forget that. 'Cause I was like, oh, you guys really do Christmas up. And then after that, there would be like, Christmas dinner, and then they would have family come over, and it was a whole ordeal for the entire day. And that was a fun experience too, to see how other people have their Christmas. And then I also remember coming to Atlanta for the first time. My first time coming to Atlanta was Christmas time, and I got to spend that with my family here, who I'll actually be spending Christmas with this year on Sunday. I'm going to go to their house. Granted, it's much smaller now. We were all 2021, so everyone was still in town. You know, there are people young enough to still be in town, but now everyone has their separate families. So people will be with their families in other places, but I'm going to be with them on Sunday. So that'll be fun. But Christmas is a great time of the year, and it's so fun to just connect with those old memories. That's what it's about. That's ultimately why I do all that I do during this season. It's not so much to create new memories, which is great. I will look back and think about that, but it's all about thinking about where I was when I hear these songs, when I hear Miss You Most at Christmas Time, when I hear All I Want Is Christmas for You, when I hear This Christmas, it makes me think about the past more than the present. And that's awesome. And yeah, I definitely am in the Christmas spirit, and I hope you guys are too. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I hope, you know, all your wishes and dreams come true, and if not, make them come true. And yeah, I'm in a very good spirit. So that's what I wanted to share with you all this week. Merry Christmas, and I will talk to you all next week before the new year. Thank you so much for listening. Peace out.